Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
I got a text that I want to share with you guys. And
Okay.
let you in on my pain. Let you in on a story.
Pain in a...
Oh, not in a horrible way. If it was, true life pain, you would know already, Murphy, since we're married. But no, I got this text yesterday from Carol, the lady who drops off the gifts for me a couple of weeks ago. She's the one who trapped that cat that we were feeding for a couple of years here.
Oh, okay. All right. That's right.
Right.
That you were feeding. We weren't really.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then she trapped the wrong cat?
Yeah. When I said we, I said me and Carol. I meant me and Carol. I know you guys aren't feeding a cat.
So wait, you trapped the wrong cat. Who trapped the wrong cat?
There was a calico-looking cat that was sort of wild that I was feeding, and she was feeding on the weekends. It's a long story. Another friend of ours who works here, who works a couple of days a week, she asked me to help her, to tag her out in this a year or two ago, because she's only here a couple of days a week, and I'm here Monday through Friday. And then her mother-in-law, Carol, comes on the weekends and feeds. And so we were trying to help these cats. So I would send them pictures early in the morning when I would see, and we called her Pie Face, Pie, when we'd see Pie. And so they knew that she eats at ungodly hours and things like that. So they have a cat trap, and we made sure, I wasn't in on this, but Carol trapped her. Yeah. Took her to the vet.
It's interesting to me that anybody has a cat trap just lying around.
Where do you get that?
Well, it's an animal trap.
Yeah, okay.
And this is all the best intentions. Miss Carol loves animals.
Yes.
And was worried about her, in weather, not having a place to stay, having no one.
Look, I think that was the smarter long-term plan than what was first happening, where we were just, not we, excuse me.
Please.
Right. You were just feeding them in the parking lot, which, of course, would continue to have them come to the parking lot.
Along with every other wildlife critter.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think I saw a big Thanksgiving dinner going on out there one day. 10 or 15 animals at one time. Anyway.
So anyway, I was helping Brandy feed this cat when Brandy wasn't able to be here. So I'm in on it. I start getting all these texts about, we're going to trap Pie. We want Pie to be ours. And she's done this before, where she's rescued wild sort of cats, feral cats, you call them, rescued and rehomed them and what do you call it? Not juvenated, rehabbed them. Yeah. And she's turned these wild cats into her pets.
So
successfully in the past.
And I'm sorry to interrupt here because I need clarification here. When you say, I thought feral cats were like,
my bad.
You wouldn't bring those home, right? Aren't feral cats like true wild cats that nobody's going to keep in a house?
I thought feral just meant wild cats, just cats that run in the wild.
They don't have homes. I mean, okay. I don't know the actual definition, so it's a wild cat. Yeah,
okay, so
it's
a domesticated cat, but it's wild because it doesn't have a home.
It's domesticated because we're feeding it.
All right, for some reason I thought feral cats would be the kind of like, don't bring that in your house.
I'm pulling out the Google here.
Thanks.
Animal in a wild state, especially after escape from captivity or domestication.
Okay. I don't know if these babies were ever domesticated in any way.
They lived under the vehicles down there.
They lived under the vehicles, and so that we would do water and food when we, as often as possible. So she trapped Pie. And then I'm like, oh, great, you've got Pie. And she was giving me the updates about Pie went to the vet. Pie was pregnant, I
thought Pie was fixed.
No. The one that she trapped was pregnant. That's when we discovered that there are two that look almost identical. Probably litter mates.
Here we go, Murphy. This is trapping the wrong cat.
Yeah, she trapped the wrong one.
I mean, as I'm following or not following this, actually, it's like to wonder anything actually got done here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Why is it hard to follow? Two cats.
Okay.
They look alike.
It sounded like a lot more.
They're litter mates.
In fact, I saw 4 out there one time before they were all trapped.
A long time ago.
There was a mama. There was Pie, who was her baby, and the other baby.
Yeah, those are gone. The mama and the tiger one are gone. We don't know where. Anyway.
You know what? Maybe they found a home.
Right. There's a lot of apartments around here.
Or another car to hide
under. I hope
under.
they're living, the life. So we knew that there was the Pie that she trapped. She wanted to make that cat hers, and she's had it in her, porch room.
And this is the
for
wrong
weeks.
Pie.
It doesn't matter. She wanted to save a cat. But it's not the one we thought we were trapping. I've still been feeding the one who's left alone here, in the parking lot. And I've seen her every once in a great while. And she is fixed. Miss Carol trapped her and fixed her and released her back here.
Boy, I'm lost.
Should have kept her when she had her.
She didn't want to keep her. She was trying to not have more cats because she has a few of her own.
All right, so I really need you to simplify this for me. The cat that was trapped is the wrong cat? Is that where you're getting at?
Not the cat we thought. Yeah, it was the wrong cat. She trapped the wrong cat, to put it as Sam.
How do we know that it was the wrong cat?
Because
I'm sorry, how do you know it was the wrong cat?
Because it doesn't look the same and it's pregnant.
yeah,
And Pie is fixed.
Pie was fixed, and we didn't know there were two until she trapped one and had one in her porch. And I'm like, wait, but this cat's here. There's a calico cat here eating, and she was like, oh, there are two.
You know what? Pretty simple solution here. All it needed to be was a sign in front of the trap that said Pie's house, right?
Yeah.
Then you would have caught the right cat.
Anyway, I got a text from Miss Carol yesterday.
Yeah.
It is with a heavy heart that we tell you we did bring Pie back to her home today, meaning here. We are very sad. She was very scared the whole time. We were hoping that she would realize that she is home. We left her where she was trapped in the back, and she ran across the street towards the apartments. We took the ant-free dish away, and she goes on about that because we have these little dishes that ants can't get in because they have water around, like a little note or whatever. But anyway, please keep us posted if and when you see her. We love this little wild girl, but she was ready to go the whole time, meaning she just never would come to them. She never warmed up to them. She hid from him the whole time. Miss Carol had a little camera on her at night, and she'd come out at night, but even if she heard one little noise, she'd go back in.
They couldn't domesticate
So wild. It was just like, she's going to be miserable here in my house, even though she's got food and water and a bed.
Yeah. So, look, the deeper that we get into this podcast, the dumber I become, apparently, because I thought you said Pie wasn't trapped.
Okay.
So
she calls them both
so
Pie.
So how is Pie being returned if Pie wasn't trapped in the first place?
She calls them both Pie. One is Pie 1 and Pie 2.
One's the real Pie, and the other one's the Pie they trapped.
Just Pie 1 and Pie 2.
Okay.
We called them the same because we thought they were one.
Yeah. This is the reason distinct names are a good thing.
Yeah. If this wasn't confusing enough, let's name them both the same name.
I didn't name this cat.
Okay.
But there's a tiny little part of me that's happy that Pie 1 has Pie 2 again. In this wild environment they live in, where strangers feed them under vehicles and in corners, they do have each other again.
So are there really two cats again then?
Yes.
Pie 1 and Pie 2?
Yes.
Probably time for a name change on them just for future,
They don't, that's us. They don't come to us.
Wait a second.
We don't call their names.
So are you going to try to trap the other cat to see if it can be rehomed, or are we giving up completely?
I'm not in that. All I am doing, I am the supporting player. I am not a lead in this at all. I feed the cats during the week when Brandy's not here.
Sounds like you're in the text group,
When
though.
I remember, huh?
You're in the text group, though.
Yeah. Miss Carol swears she couldn't have trapped her without my help because I was the one letting her know, hey, this cat is out at 4:30 in the morning, and that's the only time I've ever seen her. And so guess when she trapped her? 4:30 in the morning on a weekend.
Okay.
So anyway, but I have heard, and I just want to shout this out. If you've hung on this long with this conversation,
I'm barely there.
I've heard and I've read that is one of the best things you can do. If you're trying to help an animal that's sort of wild and you can't domesticate it, do whatever vetting you can do for it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's safe and definitely spay neuter.
Yes,
definitely
absolutely.
have them fixed and then release them back to where they feel at home. So the hope is that she's doing fine. And because she's wild enough to make it, especially with the extra help of a bag of food.
Yeah, all the enablers around.
Yeah.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.